Hello, I'm Amba Blakley and I am going to be reading a couple of pages out of the first ever novel I have written, called Ember. Ember was a fire starter, a damn good one. From the age of 4, when she came into her power, she had been practicing religiously for 20 years. Ember Clan was well known for their ability to bend fire to their will. There are many different levels of abilities. She woke up on a normal day, like all others, and got dressed in dark leather clothing, put her sword over her back, and off she went. She walked out of the small bedroom into the family room and grabbed an apple out of a straw basket sitting on top of a very old wooden table with tribal patterns running along the ends. The table was very old. It had been in their family for generations and must have had some protective spells around it to not have burnt down every time someone set fire to the place. Ember left the house quickly. Nobody was home because she slept in again. Eating her apple, she ran down the pathway leading away from her house into the forestry. Just as she got to the entrance of the forest, she hesitated. Just for a moment. Something wasn't right. She could feel it running up her spine. It gave her the chills. Rubbing her arms, she dismissed the strange feeling and took her last step into the forest, never realizing for a moment that her life would never be the same again. Ember thought she would follow the path through the forest and join up with her family and start business as normal. Alas, this was not to be. The trees cracked and groaned like somebody was pulling at their roots deep in the soil. It was not a natural sound. That was her second warning that something was not right. She kept walking. Ember didn't really worry about many things, being from the Fire Clan. Nothing could really hurt her. Something grabbed her leg and pulled her down. Ember smashed into the ground, through the ground, and she screamed out in pain. Looking down, she could see one of the roots had wrapped around her right leg. It was pulling, dragging her under. Her first instinct was to set fire to the tree root. There was no way she could do that, especially with all the soil around her leg. She was hip deep now, blood pouring from her leg. It was trying to drag her under. What a horrible way to go. Remembering her long, ancient sword, she pulled out of its sheath and dug it into the earth around her leg, stabbing and cutting away at the tree limb. The tree groaned in pain. She stabbed once, twice, and missed. The sword went through her leg. Pain shot through her. So did adrenaline as she pulled and pushed, trying to free her right leg. Yes, at last she was free. She jumped up and away from the hole in the ground. Her leg was a mess. She felt a bit dizzy from the blood loss. She heard movement behind her, and she spun round, sword raised, to see who or what it was. Then something hard smacked her across the back of the head from behind, and the lights went out. Ember shot upright so fast that she headbutted the man standing over her. He gave a groan of pain. Ember didn't give him time to recover before she tried to get up again. But this time she was ready. She threw her head back and headbutted him harder. He didn't move, so she threw her head back again for another headbutt, but this time he jumped out of her way. In a flash, she leapt up to her feet. She was quick, but not as fast as him. Blinking through the blood running down her face, she surveyed the area around her. She was dizzy again. Ember thought she must have hit her head harder than she realised. She was in a dungeon, a real dungeon. Nobody does that anymore, she thought. Not since all the clans had agreed on peace between each other. Ember fell nearly as fast as she had stood. Her right leg had given way. She allowed herself to stay sprawled on the floor, looking up at the dark-haired man in front of her. She blushed. He was very handsome, even with a massive throbbing red lump on his cheek. Where he was dark, she was light. Ember had blue eyes, fire-red hair that reached her waist. She was tanned from long hours working outdoors. This strange man had black hair. It was messy, with different lengths of cat hair. the longest reaching his chin at the sides. The back of his hair was shorter. His eyes and skin were equally strange. His eyes were black and his skin pale as white as milk. He did, however, have clothes that were similar. His cost more, though, she thought grudgingly. Are you just going to sit there? His voice was like birdsong. That can't be right, she thought, shaking her head. How hard has she really hit her head, she wondered. Well, he looked puzzled as he looked down at her. Oh, right. She'd been sitting on the floor for some time now, thinking. Ember tried to get back up and gasped in pain. I can help you, only if you promise not to headbutt me again. You're very thick-headed. Ember bristled at this. He had called her thick-headed. Nobody in her clan would dare to call her thick-headed. He had been thinking only moments ago that he was attractive. Well, he was as attractive as seeing a new animal in the wild, she thought. Her legs trembled with the effort of standing. She was struggling to catch her breath. This was bad. Taking a deep breath, she decided to see what damage had been done. Reaching down, she tried to take her boot off. It felt wet. She pulled her hand away from the boot and saw bright red blood. I can heal you. Ember looked at him and smiled. She was a weakling. She shut her eyes, focused, and healed her leg. I don't need your help. She had hoped the words would sound strong. Instead, they came out weak, as if she ran a dozen laps and gasped for air. He was still looking at her. She stood up straight. Stop staring at me. I know I'm hot. Ember grinned at him. He didn't move or acknowledge anything she said. Ember took a breath to speak again, but before the words had come out, he put his hand over her mouth, keeping her silent. Then she heard footsteps echoing along the corridor. It was only now that she noticed how eerie the place was. Ember was used to the noisy countryside. She didn't like this. The footsteps stopped. They turned around and walked away. She let out a breath of relief. Becoming aware of herself, she realised how close she was to this guy. He was pressing up against her, her body shot with tension. He was so warm that she was tempted to put her arms around him and hug him. No way would she do that. As if reading her thoughts, he took a step back away from her and removed his hand from her mouth. Her eyes met hers, and he leaned forward just slightly. He realised what he was doing and flew back across the dungeon to the furthest side away from her. Ember didn't know what the strange guy's problem was. The dungeon cell was not a large place, and there was not a single window to be seen. It had one bench at the back that looked like a death trap. The wood was black and mouldy. If a fly sat on that bench, it would break. Ember walked up to the cell bars. She was done being trapped. What are you thinking? Asked the man. Ember turned to face him. He wasn't even looking at her. He was looking down at the floor. Hands behind his back, left leg bent with his foot resting against the wall. Ember grabbed the cold cell bars. They were so cold that they burned her hands to the touch. However, whoever had her probably didn't know she was one of the strongest in her clan. Ember focused and reached for a storage of magic deep within and unleashed her power. Whoosh! Her whole body was on fire. She lit up like a candle. The bar sizzled as the metal melted away, like hot lava erupting out of a volcano. The man didn't even move. That's some party trick. Let's go. But times like these called for desperate measures. She could either turn left or she could turn right. Not thinking, she turned left. That's where the footsteps had been coming from. Ember hadn't even managed to make it 3 strides in that direction before she was dragged back by an arm around her waist. What do you think you're doing? You're lit up like the sun. Every girl will see you a mile off, the guy hissed in Ember's ear, so no one else could hear. His breath was warm across her cheek. She somehow gave her the shivers, awakening something in her blood. Ember pulled away embarrassed, cheeks flushed. She reined in her power, calling it back. The corridor plunged into darkness. Wait, hold on a second, she thought. He has grabbed her. How did this man grab her? What's your name, and why should I trust you? For all I know, you're with them. How could this strange guy touch her when she was on fire and not get hurt? He took in a deep breath, deciding what to tell her. My name is Night, and if I put you in here, why would I be in here too? Thought Ember. That was a very good question. One question to add to the list. His name was Night. Why? It definitely suited him. His hair was as dark as the night sky, and his skin was as pale as the waxing moon. Ember had been so busy thinking about this, and had missed his question. Hello? Are you paying attention? What is your name? Said Night rather impatiently. Ember grinned as she thought of making up a name, but she changed her mind at the last minute. I am Ember, and why were you in that cell with me? An annoyed look passed over Night's face, but it was hard for Ember to see because the lighting was very bad outside the cell. You're really thick-headed, Night said, as he turned around and started walking in the opposite direction. Ember ran after him, long red hair flowing behind her like a cape. Night walked carefully, following the many twists and turns the passageway took. He was very quiet, and after every few steps of walking he would stop, listen, and then carry on. Ember had no idea where they were going, but she did know that wherever it was, she wasn't leaving his side. And that is 2 pages. I apologise for the couple of times I messed up. I've never read anything aloud. Thank you. Bye.